Oh. We're here, baby.
I guess the intro did not work.
All right. Yeah, we just made it happen.
Hit that intro real quick, though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think what happened, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's weird. It didn't load everything up. It just loaded the other one. So that's good stuff. So right. Kyle is at camp right now. He's feet on the streets.
Yes, sir.
But Kyle also did come up with a new intro video for us. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's pretty good. So let us know in the comments down below what you think about the intro video. We have 2 different versions of it. We're just going to play the first one right now, and then we'll play the second one the next live we go on. So, guys, let us know what you guys think. Kyle did it. I'll hit the button.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Oh my gosh, I love that, man. I think that's amazing. Oh
yes, sir.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Good
job. I'm so glad you guys like that. Yeah.
Good job.
I'm so glad you guys like that. Yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, I'm just really happy that you guys were actually able to come out here for the training camp, and then we just decided that we were going to put some intro together. I think this should be an annual tradition for us to kind of reshoot it every single time, do something different, Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I had a blast actually putting it all together. So, and as you can hear behind me, the Thunderbolts are going ham, and, training camp just finished. The skirmish was amazing, guys, and we'll get more into that later. But, when I was putting this thing together, I felt like, you know what? I know that we all really want the cheerleaders to be back with the Chargers right now, but you know what? We got what we got. The Thunderbolts are here, and they're here to stay for right now. So let's use what we got and just, embrace them and bring them into the fold and bring them into the family, and actually just encourage them to do more for us, because you know what? They're here. So.
Yep. For sure. So Kyle is at camp. But by the way, guys, what did you guys think of that new intro? Kyle just got that first time we played it. I'm hyped on it. I think it's great. So let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of it as you're watching this video as well. So,
no doubt.
Kyle, you are at camp now. Can you give us just your general thoughts? We could review some of the notes as well, too. But give us some general thoughts on what you saw at camp. Today was a scrimmage, so what are your thoughts?
You know what? The biggest thing that I saw is that the defense was hungry today, baby. Mm-hmm. Man, oh my gosh, they were straight up it was sacks on sacks on sacks all day long. Yeah, I mean, it was really hard for the offense to actually get anything off. None of their deep balls were caught after sack situations. Or before sack situations. So there was a couple times that they got sacked, but then they still threw the ball. And they didn't catch him, so there is connection there, but they already lost the play. So the defense, this is their day to shine, and they definitely won the day for sure.
Carlos is saying, Kyle the reporter from camp coming live.
That's right.
That's right.
I mean, the thing about it is, Kyle, you wrote a ton of notes, and both Andrew and I were like, dude, defense won the day. And it's awesome to see that. I'm just going over some of the notes. I'm going to pull up some photos and everything from the slides and everything too, Andrew. It started out with Kenneth Murray getting a sack. Started out with Khalil Mack getting a sack. Started out with Morgan Fox getting a sack. Cooley getting pressures with the second team. I mean, it was constantly getting sacks. Now, once again, this is a little bit of two-hand touch here, but you love seeing that. You love seeing that this defensive line wants to prove themselves, and that's what they're doing right now. They're proving themselves that they're here to stay. They're here to make a wrecking ball out there. Joey Boats, by the way, wasn't out here. Slater wasn't out today. Was out today too. Sebastian Jost today was not in today too. So and then J.C. Jackson also too. But you love seeing it. You love seeing it. And this right now. Yeah, the drums are going crazy. He's right next to the Thunderbolts right now.
Yeah. So they're walking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought this was kind of interesting, this little trolling picture you have here. Yeah, Jimmy G's throwing 7 interceptions in 2 camp practices. They're going to suck, folks. We all know it. So kind of excited to see that, you know.
Yeah. You know, you love to see that. You love to see that the Raiders are not going to be so hot at all. And I don't understand what they think about Jimmy G over there. But anyway, family, trust, respect all the time around here, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, and again, Kyle, look at this. This is amazing, dude. Like, guys, if you haven't been to camp, it is so awesome. It is so worth your time. If you can go, just go. I know James and I, we don't live in LA, so that's why we're not there. Trust me, if I was in LA, I would be there.
I would be there. Yep.
That's just not as easily possible for me. I live in Utah, so I could drive out there, but yeah, you know, we'll see how that goes. But looks like the defense won the day, though, folks. It's pretty awesome. Let me ask this, Kyle. How did Gilman look? Was he out there at all? I know that's been my big concern. As far as, you know, Gilman and, you know, the safety play.
Yeah, Gilman showed up in a very big way today. He actually had an amazing interception today. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you saw the notes. I put it out there. Okay, okay, the drum stopped. Yeah, first. Oh, we're about to start again. We're doing it live, guys.
Yeah, that does help it a little bit. No, that's good.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, but yeah, no, he had a really good catch today. It was a throw, I believe, to one of the tight ends, and he kind of bobbled it, but Alohi Gilman came up with it and it took the ball away. It stole it.
You know, again, y'all know that's been my concern, right? The safety play needs to be really solid, but that's great. Yep.
You know, and the thing about that too is that I have been hearing, based upon just kind of what I've seen from the videos, Alohi has been getting some picks in camp too. So it's good to see that he's being more of a ball hawk. Like with Nazir Adderley, I always felt like he had good potential, but just wasn't able to execute on those picks. So it's really good to hear that safety position sounds like it could be in very good hands.
Yeah, so let's go to some questions here as well, too. So let's go to Anthony Joseph's question. I know, Aether, you said you got some questions as well, too. What are you going to do with Sebastian out and the other dude? I'm trying to think of who the other dude is. Are we screwed? Look, SJD, I think it's just a precautionary thing right now from what I'm understanding. It doesn't sound like it's anything crazy. But look, man, you know, Matlock looked really good. Thule looked really good out there as well, too. I mean, you know, and Nick Williams is looking really good out there on the line as well. So, you know, there's a lot of depth on the line here. So Bash is awesome. He was great last season. But the good news is we got a lot of depth, right? So it's kind of good to see that, you know, so we're not, you know, 1 or 2 guys go down, we're not going to be screwed, right? Which is good, you know, and that's last year we just had too many injuries, you know, and I'm hoping that doesn't play out this way.
And looking over Kyle's notes too, there was actually 2 runs by Eckler stopped. Thule and Scott Matlock stopped him right then and there. Later on in the practice too, there was also a point where it was like a red zone situation where it sounded like they basically had 3 stops. And I believe it was red zone. Eckler runs up the B gap, short gain. Eckler runs up the A gap, short gain. Next play was Herbert pass bobbled by a Parham. Kind of seems like Parham got up kind of a little limp, but then eventually Eckler did get a TD into the end zone. But you love to see these red zone goal line based situations that the D line is just being there and being aggressive and just not letting him run up the gut. Like that's beautiful to see.
And then I think Josh Kelly got the final play, another a running touchdown, which I thought was awesome too. So
it's great. So, but these guys, we got depth. I mean, that's the thing that's great about this team. I mean, I was having a conversation, I believe it was actually just through Aether sliding into the DMs, just talking about how this team could be really, really deep, like the mid 2000s team.
Easy.
We got a lot of talent.
Yeah, and this is a good question here. Eddie Saunders or Solanda said about Jalen Guyton. Do you think it's going to be threatened by John Hightower? Yeah. I mean, guys, like, that's partially why I did an individual video on John Hightower, man. The guy's got the same speed and he's taller, and Guyton's not out there, right? And, you know, I used to watch that show, what's it called? Last Chance U? I remember there was an interesting line that they said in there. It said, you can't make the club in the tub, right? And if you're not out there playing, like you can't play, right? I mean, that's just how it is. And so, and Hightower's balling out, man. And he had a few plays today as well, too. So, Yeah. Anyway, so I think definitely there's something to be said about that.
Yep. Oh, it's great. It's great to see, and the thing about it is you want to see Guyton get out there. I mean, Staley talked a little bit about it, that he said, hey, you know what? He'll be out there at some point now.
Yeah.
You got to see him be healthy to find a way on this 53-man squad, unless he's going to be in the IR or whatnot, which is totally possible. Totally possible.
Yeah. And again, the good news is, folks, there's a lot more depth. And then Eddie's saying it exactly right. Scott Matlock, Nick Williams, Gerard Clark. I think Gerard Clark has a very good chance of at least making the practice squad for sure. I don't think he'll make the 53-man roster, but things look pretty good. So I'm really interested to see, what everyone else says. Hey, Bull Babes, how we doing? How we doing? And
by the way, Nick Williams did have a sack today too on Herbert too. So that's beautiful to see. So, I mean, going back to this defense, I mean, there's pass defense that Leonard versus Mike Williams on a deep ball found a way to basically break that up. There's obviously Alohi with the picks. You got Mac tipping passes. This defense is hungry. Is hungry. And I'm excited to be able to see how far this defense could keep going right now. And, even Mark Webb got a pick to the house apparently in this too. Yep. I think I saw a video of that. So it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. You want this defense, if it can stay healthy, we will have a much better product on field, guaranteed.
Yeah. And was it James or you, Kyle, telling me we talked about this earlier? Hey guys, you guys know that we talk about this stuff way too much. But I specifically talked about Alohi, and I was talking about John Johnson, how I wanted to get him. But if we have that money saved up available, we could go out and scoop somebody up mid-year. Maybe we have we need to get somebody else, maybe another defensive lineman we could scoop up or trade for. And so, if we could save that money, that would give us a lot of extra cash available to make a move mid-season or maybe down the road. Right.
Yeah.
But I do think it's an important thing to discuss for sure too. Okay. So I know we go on to the next slide here, but we can also talk actually before we go to Dicker here, let's go to some questions here. Okay. I guess Lizard Skinnerd. Cool name, by the way.
I love the name.
That was a great name.
Hey, this is the first time I think he's seen you on the pod. What's up, dude? Welcome.
Yeah, good.
Welcome,
good job. Yeah. So, James, you want to take this question?
Yep. What up, guys? Just hopped on, man. Hey, pleasure to have you on here, Lizard, man. Love the name. What kind of illness do you think that might be going on around? And do you think it's a positive note? Is it's good that they get the sickness done now and be healthy for the season? I mean, it's going back to those COVID days where everybody was getting sick and everything like that. And, there's obviously not those precautionary things anymore and those set of rules or whatever. Maybe it's just something, maybe they just had, maybe they got the diarrheas. I don't know,
Diarrhea?
Maybe they got the firea. I don't know. I mean, once again, we're outside looking in on this, but at the same side, maybe there's even a level of like, hey, we're trying to protect our players too. Because I mean, it's Rashawn Slater, Joey Bosa. Who was the other guy that was sick? Let me see back on the list here real quick. But it wasn't necessarily. Quentin Johnston, Gerald Everett. So you kind of look at these guys. Those are kind of key players too. Now, I'm not saying the other guys are not. Justin Herbert, Khalil Mack, all those other guys. I mean, I'm hoping it's nothing too crazy by any means. I'd be interested to know what's going on with that illness. I mean, I believe yesterday Kyle had a buddy that met Quentin Johnston at the headquarters just yesterday. And I mean, his buddy didn't get sick. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a food kind of situation or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with something like that.
Yeah, and they're never really going to talk a whole lot about it. But I will say this. There are a lot of there's flus going around. I got really sick about a month and a half ago. Yep. I was sick for almost 5 days. Like, it was bad. So things are going around. It is what it is, folks. No big deal. Yep. Now, Pokey is looking pretty good. Kyle, how did Pokey look out there? I know there was a couple plays to him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so Pokey had a solid play at the end, but it was actually right before a sack. Sorry, I'm handing stickers to people and stuff too. So I think it was a throw by Dugan, who actually was sacked right before, but it went deep and he actually did catch it. So it was a solid catch. And so if it was a clear throw and everything like that, it would have been really good. Like it was easily a good 30-yard throw. So yeah, it was solid.
That's good to see.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
Boat Bros.
Hey,
And,
once
and
again,
Boat Babes, Kyle is
Kyle
there
is
at the gate. Yeah, he's at the gate,
okay.
right by the
Cool.
Thunderbolts.
Awesome. And he is currently right there where the Thunderbolts are going on. So once again, we're not adding music to this background by any means. It's just being live,
Yep.
So
Yeah, we actually. I have a moment. Wait. Oh, they're about to go again. Yeah, Hey, this is live TV, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Dicker the Kicker real quick, and then we'll go to throw your questions out as well, folks. But it does look like, I know a lot of people were asking about the kicking situation. It does look like Cameron Dicker is going to be our kicker. Cool. Play on words.
Yep. Yeah.
He hasn't missed
doubt.
any balls. Yeah, he's done really well. So It looks pretty much like he's the guy.
Yeah, and I think today Kyle wrote in some of the notes too, stating that he actually hit all of his field goals today too, extra points and everything too. Even to say last week, I kind of paid attention to that. I think I did see Dustin Hopkins out there. I think he went 5 for 7. I think Dicker went 6 for 7. I believe it was something similar to that. But the thing about it is that is a kicking battle. And if you have been a Charger fan in the last 6 years or so, we need to stabilize that position. And that's why you got Hopkins there. That's why you got Dicker there. I mean, I know the next slide, I talk a little bit about the whole thing with Hopkins' contract and kind of what that all means. But it is going to be something that I believe Brandon Staley is going to be bringing up too. So here very soon. So the current contract situation at this moment, this is a post June 1st situation. Right now, if we were going to release him at this point, there's not a huge amount of loss for money, but next year it becomes $4.75 million towards the cap. We know what's going to happen in the cap next year. Who knows what's going to happen here? But at the same side, I think there is kind of a level that you want to make sure you have that vet guy and that young guy on the team. Do they hold him onto there and put him at some level, maybe on the IR? Because maybe that hammy still hasn't got really good from the Bronco game last year. Who knows?
Yeah, and why release him, right? I mean, at this moment, if the money's already there, just you're paying the guy, put him on the IR and just say you're on the IR or whatever, right? Because what if Cameron Dicker hurts himself, right? We all know this is what happens, in football. It's not a tickling contest out there for sure. And yes, Kyle, yes, things are looking good. Everything is looking good. It's good to see the offense and defense win, right? It's good because, so some might say, wow, our offense isn't there. Well, look, we got a pretty damn good defense too, right? When we're healthy, and we got a lot of guys out there that are hungry, right? They're hungry. They eating. Anthony, interesting thought about JC Jackson. You want to take this, James? I know we talked a little about JC Jackson, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this.
So Anthony Joseph, I don't know about JC Jackson. He looked really sorry last year. I don't think he will be any good this year either. I think we are wishing on a star that's just not there, releasing him to give young corners. Now, once again, his contract situation, it's tough to do a release at this point. It's possible next year. Now, I remember doing a lot of videos last year about JC Jackson and kind of what we're seeing. He was playing a lot of off coverage. I think he's a more man-to-man kind of guy. You got to press with this guy. He wants to be physical at the line. They did not play him that way last year. And I don't know if it had something to do with his ankle surgery that he ended up having, and then possibly something with the knee or what not happened there. The thing about it is that if you could get JC Jackson back from a patellar tendon-based situation, that is not an easy injury to come back 100%. The guy still leads the league in interceptions for the last 5 years. I mean, still even having one missed season. That guy's a difference maker. So if you could find a way to be able to get him to be healthy, I mean, that back end of our defense is going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. And look, I also think it's interesting because towards the end, before he got injured, which again, that was such a brutal injury, folks. I mean,
tough.
That is almost an impossible injury to come back from. The fact that he even was able to do that is incredible. Now, I will say this. The fact that he's even out there playing the way he is, I think it will be interesting to see if they have him be like a hybrid man zone, or he just locks down the number one wide receiver and says, you're all over this guy like white on rice, and just leave it at that. Because they could put him on like Travis Kelce, and say they just jam him at the line or do whatever they got to do. They could get real physical with him. So it will be interesting to see. I'm sure Kyle didn't see a lot of that out there. Obviously, he wasn't really out there a whole lot. So my point is, it will be interesting to see how we actually use J.C. Jackson now, especially since of his injury. That's going to be something I'm going to see, obviously, week one when we're at SoFi Stadium as a Bolt Bro crew.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep, we'll see how it goes. I mean, and once J.C. Jackson was just in street clothes for this practice too, so he was not playing, and they're just giving him time. They have to let that injury. They don't want to push him too fast. They want to make sure he comes back healthy. They invested a lot of money in him.
Yeah, and the defense did look great out there. Kirby, I'm thinking that's Herbie, right? Kirby, sure.
I think you're saying number 50 was Moa. And
Moa.
David Moa, there's been a little bit of hype about that guy. And I mean, last year he was in the system, and this year he's back again. And so, that's one of those kind of under the radar potential signings, just to be able to add more depth to that D line.
And guys, again, you guys all know,
hey,
I got a lot of heat for.
They finally stopped playing, so it's all
good.
Hey!
Great. Yeah, it was funny. I was like, man, they still playing? Boy, they're just beating their drums like crazy, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, Alohi is playing great, so that's good to see. And this is a good point too. Eddie talked about Raheem Lane. Raheem Lane looks good too. Webb looks good, and Raheem Lane's a big special teamer. Webb is a big special teamer. Yeah. Dean Leonard looks really good too. That's another person. So, man, it's nice having that depth. It's nice having that depth.
And the thing that I think the theme for this team is iron sharpens iron. And the thing about it is everybody knows that there's a safety position open. Everybody's putting in their best effort right now. And you've got to love to see that effort from these players. And it's going to be awesome to see where it all lands and where it ends up being and who's going to be the guy for us this year.
Yeah, let's go through some more of these questions as well, too. I think this is good. Kyle, maybe can you read this? If I don't know, if it might be kind of hard for you too.
Yeah,
I have to get real close. How about you just read it to me and then I'll answer.
Okay, how about that? Well, actually, how about James or I go for it? Cool. That would make it a little easier.
I'll read it. So, Rain Major, thanks for joining the show, by the way, man. Absolutely. I think this might be one of your first comments on here, so really, guys, appreciate the support on this. And by the way, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. We do a ton of content on the Chargers all the time. So once again, if you want to get some updates and our ideas, opinions, we'd love to hear your guys' opinions on things too and comments. Please follow us, guys. We are big diehard fans, multiple generations on top of that, multiple decades of being Charger fans. So, but let's go to Rain Major's question here. Hey, Bull Bros, do you guys agree that most of the Chargers issue steam in ownership? That's why we don't pay coaches. They do everything cheap and they don't make the best decisions for the org. Yeah, man. It's a tough thing because I'll go back historically. Andy Reid was available for a head coaching position. I think we even interviewed him. Yeah. Even to say last year or a couple of years ago, I want to say Doug Peterson was available before we got Staley too. I don't even know if we interviewed him. A guy that's won a Super Bowl as a head coach. You kind of think that could be a good choice too. There was one other coach that came to mind. Oh, the coach from the Giants was the Bills coordinator, Brian Dable. He was available too also when Brandon Staley and was interviewed. Now, once again, it is kind of a thing where this organization. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. I should probably let you answer this one. But there is a level of you're trying to make the potential versus give a guy a good amount of salary to be on this team. So, Kyle, I want you to be able to talk a little bit about organization and ownership. Does that kind of are they choosing the cheaper options over the expensive options for coaching and such?
For coaching, I would agree. The Chargers do probably pick a cheaper option on the coaching side currently. But that's all changing, at least as far as the players go. Historically, they've been going cheaper on players all the time. But these days, they're paying to play now for sure, man. They're trying to get that trophy and they're doing everything they can. So, and I don't knock it against them that they did pick Staley over Andy Reid or anything like that, or I think it would have been Anthony Lynn at that point when that was going on, right?
I don't know if it might have been after the Mike McCoy hiring.
Yeah, was that it? Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was
kind of close in that zone.
Yeah,
it was close to that zone for sure. But yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. Like, and I don't think it's a it's not that big of a problem that I think some people might make it out to be.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say on this too, guys, is the Spanos is spending a lot of money now. They are spending money. Yep. And say what you want to say about paying a coach. Like, okay, I think the Broncos are stupid for paying Sean Payton what they're paying and what $20-some million a year, and it's guaranteed money, guys. It's freaking guaranteed money, and they gave up picks to get him. Now, don't get me wrong, it costs a lot, but I would take Brandon Staley over Sean Payton just because I think Brandon Staley has really changed the culture of this organization in a great way. But he's very polarizing. I can understand people's opinion of that, but again, he's getting the Spanos family to spend money. I think he's become a better GM as well. Bro. It's been good.
Yep.
It's all good, man. Hey, we're the Bolt Bros podcast, and we live right now. Yeah.
Yep. So
also, he was just saying my glasses are hard.
Oh, nice. Very cool. I wish you had somebody to give out. I know. As far as quarterbacks, Easton Stick is probably doing better than Dugan. Dugan missed quite a few.
He's definitely looking like the QB2 right now.
Much better. Yep. Okay. So it looks like Dicker is our kicker. So I want to go through all the thoughts here as well, too, guys. And again, it does look like Easton Stick's going to be the backup, and obviously we're going to have Dugan is probably our number 3. Okay, so let's see. Parham looking good. Honest kicking. Okay, good. All right, let's go through the next couple slides we have, and then we'll go through your questions again, folks, as well, too. Okay.
And once again, like and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not, man. Really appreciate all the support, guys. It's love to be able to see the excitement for this team this year. And going to this slide right here, we just wanted to kind of throw this out here and understand what we have ahead of us this year for 2023.
It's tough.
It's a tough schedule that we have. We have the third hardest schedule in the league right now, based upon opponents' records, injuries, etc., and such too. I don't know what the etc. essentially is.
Yeah,
but it's kind of basing a little off of last year to this year, and the Chargers got a lot that in front of them this year. It's going to be tough. It's crazy to see that the Chiefs have a little easier schedule than us, and they just won the Super Bowl. That doesn't make sense, but that's how the cookie crumbles for us, guys. And so this is going to be a tough year for us, and I do think that we are building up extremely well. It's funny to see the Raiders at 6, because there's a chance that team might get 3 to 4 wins this year.
They're going to be pretty ugly, dude. They're going to be pretty ugly.
I don't think that team's going to be do well at all. I could see McDaniels basically getting fired at some point. If they could even do that or afford that, I don't know. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. I'd like to stand in front of that stadium and I don't know.
Take a pee on it.
Take a pee on it. Yeah, because it looks like a toilet bowl anyways.
While you're there, man, you should just drop a hundo on freaking the Chargers, man, because it's like 20-1 or something like that,
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, got to do that. Hey, good call.
And Eddie, I will say this. I think Derek Ainsley brings a lot of energy to the team as well, too. So that's a good thing. Here we go. Out of your Falcon minds in here. What's going on, guys?
What up, boys? What up, boys?
I was just playing you guys in Madden today. Yeah, I beat the Falcons' ass pretty bad in Madden, so you're welcome. Madden Mobile. Anyways, it's all good. It's all good. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. No, this is good. So
hey, speaking of someone getting clapped right now, someone just got pulled over in up in this parking lot right now. There's a motorcycle cop literally right in front of me, pulled this guy over.
Because I heard a whoop whoop, and I was like, "Did you just press a button here?" That's funny.
Yeah. So Aether, that's a good point. Yeah. Look, the one of the things I did say, and I did say this a few times, it was going to boil down to how our safeties played, and I think the defensive back coaches have to make the decision: do we need John Johnson, or are we just going to roll with Alohi? Because Alohi's been waiting a long time, folks. Right? He's been there, and that's why he's such a popular guy. So. Look, right now, I'm okay with whatever the coaching staff decides. Again, at the beginning of the season, before we saw him ball out like he has, pretty exciting. Pretty exciting to see him do well. And again, not only that, Raheem Lane looks good. Webb looks good. JT Woods probably will even be better. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, and the thing about it is Mark Webb has been hanging around for a while too. He just hasn't been healthy. There
we go. Pablo just talked about that.
There you go,
About
Pablo.
pick 6. Yep.
What up, Pablo? By the way, man, that's a thing, dude. Like, we got guys, and like, my whole thing about this is that we have about $12 million in the salary cap to be able to spend still. Now, you want to have emergency fund based money if you need to pick a guy or need to pick up somebody to fill some gaps or whatnot, or basically to elevate the team somewhere in the middle of the season to have that playoff push or Super Bowl push, if you want to say.
Yep.
But my opinion, if we got our guys and we got our dudes and we don't need to pick anybody up, guess what? We could allocate that $12 million to next year's salary cap. You understand how much that helps this team.
That's huge.
And you possibly could even run it back next season with the same dudes again.
Yeah.
Like,
restructure the contracts again, right?
Dude,
why not?
It's fun to watch. And I mean, even to say that conversation and why we brought up that slide about Dustin Hopkins is that there is money there. If, for instance, like it does happen that we move on from the guy, there is money there that could be saved towards the salary cap next year. So is there something going on with Dustin? That's interesting. We'll have to look into that real quick. Maybe we can look at that real fast on X. We can't call it Twitter anymore. It's called X, I guess. Huh? So Hopper basically said Justin Hopkins is dealing with something physically per Brandon Staley, which explains why he hasn't been kicking over since the last week. So I don't know what it is. So, I mean,
well, and guys, the season starts pretty soon. So if you're not available, you're not available. You can't make the club in the tub, folks. You can't make the club in the tub. It is what it is, man. And
slow feed, don't eat. Slow feed, don't eat, baby.
Yeah, that's right. But John Johnson, hey, look, it is what it is, man. I mean, look, Alohi's been balling out, so it's pretty exciting to see. Max will be there for sure. Okay. Let's see. Boy, we got so many questions, guys. This is awesome.
Love it.
Continue throwing your questions out. I want to get to as many as I possibly can here as well. Actually, we got one more slide, and then we'll go into questions. We'll just rapid fire down the list. Okay, guys. So
love seeing it.
Yep, absolutely. And again, keep throwing your questions out as well, dude. This is awesome. So James, I know this is a slide you wanted to talk about specifically.
Yeah, in the one thing I feel like it's easy to talk about Justin Herbert. It's very easy to talk about this guy.
Yep.
And I was kind of stunned to see Kirk Cousins here from the 2022 season of having 8 game-winning drives for them last year. I mean, he had the game against the Colts where it was like the all-time record of coming back from whatever it was, 41-3 or something like that, and ended up beating them like 42-41 or something crazy like that. Yeah. I mean, that game was unbelievable. But it's good to see Justin Herbert, number 3 on the list, tied with Tom Brady and Daniel Jones. That doesn't make sense either. But Justin Herbert being number 5, or having 5 game-winning drives last season. This guy has the ability to make it happen. And he did that last year without his starting wide receivers, essentially.
Yep.
You understand like how powerful the wide receiving core could be for us this year with the amount of depth that we have that could elevate this guy to just all new heights for this dude. Like,
100%.
Even to say last year and how, people say it was a down year for Justin Herbert, he still didn't have a bad year for retrospect for most quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
If he has these guys, this guy could just be something else. So just another hype up for Justin Herbert, man.
Yeah, and by the way, Kyle, this is interesting. So this is the new Brock Purdy rule that the third string quarterback does not go against your 53-man roster.
Yeah,
I always thought it would be smart to use someone like Max Duggan, much like a Taysom Hill, right? Where you could bring him out there and put him in some sort of interesting little formations, or a wildcat or something of that nature. Whatever. There's a lot of interesting things that Kellen Moore can use him with. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yep. I wanted to say one thing too, just to hype up Herbert. I think Kyle put in the notes about how he was very mobile.
Really?
Yep.
Which is
he's
deadly when he's out of the pocket.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to see that threat of at least showing that the quarterback can run. And I feel like Patrick Mahomes kind of loves to do that at the early part of the game just to kind of keep the defense honest and know that it's a threat there. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Kyle, or not, but based upon what you saw.
Yeah, 100%. So right away, it was very early in the first drive of the evening. Justin Herbert, he ran out there was complete coverage, so he just booked it, just went straight down the right side, and just ran like it for at least 20 yards, and so it was good. I mean, obviously, it's kind of unfair because he's wearing a red shirt. They couldn't touch him, so like it's kind of like playing Doom on God mode or something like that, So it's like
no doubt.
Yeah, but it was good to see
him move. It's good to see him.
Yeah, it's good to see him move because obviously after his rib injury, he was not doing none of that business, None of that. But it's looking like his shoulders in good shape. His ribs are in good shape. He's able to be Justin Herbert he was once again.
And I always go back to when his last college game when he was in the Rose Bowl. What did he do? Have 4 rushing touchdowns that game to basically propel his team for that win. I always thought when we drafted him, I was like, he's a mobile guy. He could run the ball and he could find ways to score touchdowns with his own legs too. So it's good to be able to see that as a player. And I think once again, maybe that 262 million is making him feel a little bit more comfortable to be able to run. So he's just got to protect his body though, too, on top of that.
Yeah, and Anthony, and one thing I'll say is they're being really ginger with J.C. Jackson at this moment, right? Like I think he's been ready to go for probably 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
But they're putting him on a very limited duty at this moment, right? So they don't want to do anything, with him there. And you're right. It's kind of a nice thing we're not facing Jalen Ramsey first week 1, which would be awesome. Thank God,
dude. 4 wide receiver sets. Let them figure it out against us.
Forget about it.
Like you can't stop us. If we have all 4 of our starters, it's going to be Herbo bombs all over the place. It's going to be great.
Yeah. This is an interesting question by Eddie, right? Any of the tight ends like Trey McKitty being cut? I don't know, man. Trey McKitty, man, I feel like they want him to be a better blocker. So I'm really curious to see what Moore does with him on that, right? His hands aren't that great. But I know the undrafted free agent we got from UCLA is looking pretty good out there.
Yeah.
That big homie.
ZK,
yeah. Go Chargers! Yeah, that's right, baby. Let's go.
So
awesome.
I think that'll be
actually,
really
I'll say this though. Trey McKitty actually did have a solid contested catch in the final drive of the game. Yeah. So he is out there, and they are giving him reps and catching plays and stuff. So hopefully they are progressing him in that regard. I mean, obviously there was a couple last year. There was a couple critical drops that he had, but hopefully he's getting into reps and making some adjustments.
And he did hang out a lot with Justin Herbert this offseason too. I mean,
he did.
Take that for what that is, But at the same side, like, it's bringing up just a little bit of relationship there. So
hey, and one thing too, guys, we are all getting our press passes. So Kyle already has his press pass. James and I are getting our press pass as well too. So we're trying to be as legit as possible, walk around with some credentials. Hey, look at me, I'm part of the press. What's up?
it's like what, Wayne's World?
Wayne's World, yeah. He's got the backstage pass. He's like, oh yeah.
I love it.
Oh, we like to have fun. And Tom T, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Dude, I love the account, dude. Tom T's burner, dude. I
love it. That's even better. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's the best.
Yeah, and then this is good. So Kyle, maybe talk a little bit about Joshua Kelly because he looked pretty good out there, man. By the way, I've been buying a lot of his rookie cards, like his expensive rookie cards. So
yeah, we're the Bow Bros. Oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, we're good. I'm doing it live right now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, watch it later. Okay, yeah. So Joshua Kelly's dude, he actually showed up pretty good, solid today. Yeah, he actually got. I feel like he actually got a lot more of the touches today than Eckler did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Until they actually got into the red zone areas, like that's when they actually started handing it to Eckler more. But to drive the field down or the ball downfield a little bit more, they were handing it off to Joshua Kelly. He was more on the second team sets more than the first team. But from what I saw, he was actually pushing downfield pretty well. He had a good run on the A gap and the B gap. And it was turning out pretty good. Like, I mean, I'm excited to see what Joshua Kelly does this year, because both him and Eckler need to step up because, it's in a lot of ways, it's both their contract years. So, and they're both going to be hungry, ready to eat, and they're going to be taking some big chunks.
Yeah, and I got just so you guys know, I have a video of Kenneth Murray coming out and also Josh Palmer. I want to do some highlights of just general players and people I think are going to be interesting going into camp and just or not camp, going into preseason games and what we can expect from a lot of these guys too. But Eddie brought up a good point here as well too. Justin Herbert, a lot of people forgot that he can run. I could see him go for 400 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. I could totally see that.
Let's go.
I think he's going to get 50 touchies this year for sure. 50
touchies, baby.
50 touchies. They're called touchies, baby. That's what they're called. Touchies.
We should make a shirt talking about that.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get them touchies. Let's get them touchies. Bolt up, boys.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I was going to say one thing about the Joshua Kelly thing and how you saw him in the scrimmage. So I think it was the Eagles 2021. Miles Sanders, and I don't know, I can't remember who the other back was. I'll say Gainwell. I can't remember the specific back, but I remember I had Miles Sanders as my running back. And the way that they would play their offense is that they would put Miles Sanders almost as like the first 50 yards, and then after the half point of the field, the other 50 yards towards the touchdowns given to, say, Gainwell or whatnot. Tick me off in fantasy, dude.
Yeah.
Tick me off because Sanders never got a freaking touchdown. It
was like, what the hell?
Guy. I mean, maybe they're going to do that, though. Maybe they're just thinking that Joshua Kelly could be a better pace back for the one side of the field, and then Eckler could be just that goal line guy for us. We know Eckler's got a nose for the goal line and to be able to get those touchdowns.
He does.
So,
he does. And people are sleeping on Horvath, too. Horvath can do it, too.
Yep.
One of the things I will say fantasy-wise, we are talking about fantasy, and guys, we are going to be doing a fantasy channel for the fans as well, too. So if you guys want to join our fantasy league, let us know. Just get a hold of Kyle, and we're going to set that up as well, too. Oh, here we go.
The brisket broads are here.
Oh, I love them. Hey, guys, they are the best. Oh, my God. Hey, what's up?
Let's go.
They're in my ear right now. Here. Yeah. They're in my ear. Hang on. Here we go.
What are you guys saying? Just sign
Here. You put that left ear.
Left ear. There you go. Perfect.
Hey,
there you go.
Dude,
I love it. You guys got a new outfit on, huh? Is it what you guys got on now?
Well, we wore a white today.
Oh, I love it.
Mary Shaw outfit.
Oh, what's up?
Hang on. Like again.
Oh, you do that like.
Oh, hey, look at that.
The Emmys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is the best.
I was trying not to get my. Yeah, we thought it's like game day. It's a scrimmage. You got to dress up. But I was trying to keep our outfits from getting dirty, so I got some paper towels for us to sit on, and I ran to the car. And I tripped and I fell.
Oh,
and I got dirty. I don't know if you could tell. Show him my big dirty stain, Kyle.
Oh.
Can you see it?
Oh no!
Because I fully face planted onto the pavement.
Oh my gosh!
But we're tough. The Chargers are tough.
Hey, wait!
Yes,
I heard about something about what was like something when you guys were driving on the road or something like that, and a bike rack came off your van or something.
It's been a very eventful day. Yeah. On the way to church this morning, we have a bike rack thing carrier for our foldable bikes in the front, and they just fell off. The whole thing like collapsed in front of the van, and Mary, slammed on her brakes, and it was one of those things where, it was like the best scenario of that scenario, I guess. Like no one died, and it really only took like 10 minutes to get the bikes, taken care of and on our way.
Well,
so and then I fell on my face.
Jesus was watching
He
over
was.
you.
Jesus was watching.
Yeah. Amen. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Love it. Love it.
Well, what's your general thoughts on camp? What are the Brisket Broads' thoughts? You were there the whole time. What is your actual thoughts through the whole scrimmage?
I mean, well, I felt a little sad in this scrimmage that like Joey Bosa was sick and like QJ wasn't there today. So that did feel a little bit like, but I mean, overall, it's like really fun to see them. And it felt like it's like evenly matched, which is like, sometimes you're like, oh gosh, our offense isn't able to do much. But then you're like, well, that means our defense is on fire. And then like our offense is able to do something. And you're like, okay, cool. So yeah, I just feel like we have two really great sides of the ball. And that's just very exciting.
That's
Love
great.
it. Love
Iron
it.
sharpens iron, right? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. So that's
What's that?
exciting.
Is
Yeah.
that Proverbs 26 or something like that? I
Woo!
don't know.
Oh, look at
Right?
this guy
Yeah.
over here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
Someone's getting
Hey, it's
Jesus
Sunday
on.
after
Good
all.
job,
Yeah,
James.
it's
What's
the
going
Lord's
on?
Day.
That's right. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to commandeer your whole thing.
Oh, it's all
No,
right.
I'm glad you said hello.
Oh,
I'm glad you said
gotta
hello.
We
wrap
have
up
to-
in a second, too.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have to go to Target and get more Band-Aids because I've bled through these ones. So
Hey, the brisket broads are tough. You know.
the bruised
love it.
brisket broad, baby.
Let's go.
Okay, bye guys. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to
See
see
you
you.
later.
See you
Yeah,
soon.
thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Bye, Kyle.
We'll see you.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That was so amazing
Best.
seeing them.
That's the
Yeah, I love
best.
it. By the way, guys, remember day one camp last season? We met them again. We had just started
First
our
day.
podcast,
Yep.
and we had just met them. And man, it's just awesome.
And that
seeing
was-
them be
That was
successful.
just their like kind of start too. So yeah, so like
Yeah.
we both like kind of started at the exact same time, you know. So yeah. Well, that's really why you can't say broads without bros.
That's right. Broads without bros, baby.
You can't say. You know what? We should make that shirt. You can't say broads without bro. I like that. Oh yeah, we need to do that. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That's another merch
I
idea.
love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay, so let's go back to some of these other thoughts here. I know we got a few more thoughts in the chat here. I want to make sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
let's
missing
wrap
anybody.
it up a bit though, you know, because the sun's going down and
Sun's
it's
getting
getting
down.
dark out here. So yeah.
Sure, we'll go quick. AFC Super Bowl winner changed my opinion. Look, Anthony, I think if this team can stay healthy, sky's the limit. Right?
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit
100%.
with this team. Yeah,
That's a good point.
Great.
Bolt Chris, if Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job next year, yeah, I would say Doug Nussmeier's the guy.
100%.
Yep.
Absolutely. Unless he tries to pull him over to that team, which is possible, but you would hope that the system would probably find its way intact. You hope Justin Herbert is the system. That's the thing about this.
Yep. And then 5.5 over and under rushing touchdowns for Herb. I think he could even, I mean, man, I don't know. I could see 10. You never know, man. You never know. He's not going to be a Jalen Hurts, so they don't want him on the edge of fun. But, you know, I think that could be part of his game.
Yep, I think so. I think it could be, my opinion, I'm going to say under. I don't want him to be too much of a rushing quarterback, but I want him to be a threat.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is an interesting point, Beard of Beast. Good to see you here on the channel as well, too. I'm not sure I've seen you before, but I'm glad you're here. So like and subscribe. And I will say this. I like our O-line depth, man. Like Foster Sorrell's a great example.
Really
He's
good.
looking good, dude.
Yep.
Jordan McFadden's a straight up savage, man. People are already talking about him doing a really good job in camp, and he's winning a lot of reps against some good players. So I think we're okay, guys. Like I really do. I think we're going to be fine.
And also Jordan McFadden has played left tackle too in the camp too. So, you know, you kind of want to say that he could be that rotational piece for us, kind of like the Jamari Sawyer of last year.
100%.
Yep. 1,000%.
Yep. Here we go. Charged win the championship. I love it,
Stay
man.
ready. Let's go. I'm ready. Stay ready for that championship. Let's go.
Oh, hey, and Tom,
we ready?
I said Meg. I saw Meg too. It's okay. It's pretty entertaining.
Oppenheimer. Choose Oppenheimer. Go see Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's pretty good.
Yep.
Oppenheimer's good.
Oh,
Hey,
Oppenheimer is better than Barbie for sure.
Yep.
And Tom says you're a straight up pimp, Kyle.
Oh, thanks, Tom, man. Hey, I know you're out here, man. You got to come out here and say hello to me right now. Let's go.
Let's go, Tommy T.
Yep. And Sorrell is doing really well too. And by the way, he did go to the camps with most of the rest of our O-line as well. So
yeah, with Manny Weather and everything too, getting worked out. I mean, he's been putting in work, and I do think that Brandon Staley even talked about him too, and he likes to see what he's doing. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll say, and we can end on this. I know Kyle's losing, daylight. He's got to get going. But the offensive line, the running game is going to be a little more simplified than it was last season with Lombardi. So the good news is that it's easier for people to step in with less experience, right? I mean, like Will Clapp is a great example. Will Clapp, I think, really struggled when our Corey Linsley went out. So. Yeah. I think you won't see as much of a drop off when other people come in because the system's going to be a little more simple. Yeah. And I think Hymas probably will make the 53 man roster. He's pretty good. Oh wow, plus 18 in turnovers. Holy smokes, that would be sick.
That's very like Eagles-esque of them last year. You know, the Eagles had so many turnovers last year.
Yeah, they're plus 15. Yeah.
I mean, let's go. I mean, yeah, I'll take it. I think if J.C. Jackson's healthy, that could definitely be something possible.
100%. 100%. And Soul Leader's looking good out there too. Matlock is looking great.
Yep.
So, Kyle, why don't you give us your thoughts? I know you got to head out. We'll just wrap up the video now.
Yeah, man. So I think really today was all about the defense because, you know, they really haven't been able to show too much of what they're going to be up until this week because they got the full pads on. They can actually hit people a little bit more, you know, and get a little bit more physical. And so they were trying to step up their game in a big way, and they definitely showed up, and that's exciting to see for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see how everything progresses as well. And I do know that Aether was asking earlier on, but he was asking if this was the Saints battle, whatever. But that's later on in this month. That's like the 16th and 17th that the joint practices are going on, and leading up to the preseason game. So, but yeah. It's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be a good season. Like I was really happy to see what the second team was doing. Boat gang, don't bang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boy. Hey, that's what's up. Yeah.
Love it.
Hey, we're out here live. Yeah,
we're out here live.
Hey, he's doing some. Oh, he's got the Saute Samuel Jr. Is that signed too? Yeah, he just signed it today. That's what's up, baby. Hey, yeah.
Get it.
God. Guys, football's back. Football's back.
God.
I love it.
If football's back, it's so I'm so happy to see like these kids out here, like, you know, walking around with signed jerseys and stuff, and like people are just they're hyped out here, you know. So that's what this is here, man. It's here. Like our first preseason game is on the 13th. This Saturday. I'm actually trying to go to that game. It's the Saints game, so I'm gonna make it happen. So
may as well. It'd be fun.
Hope the rest of the bowl gang's going to be able to come out. You know, let's do it.
100%. James, your thoughts?
You know, I was just going to say, man, we do this channel for you guys, for the fans, and it gives us an outlet to really, really enjoy this team and really talk about this team on a platform of some sort. I mean, us brothers, we're actual brothers. For years and years and years that we watch the Chargers games, we're always talking about Chargers. We're texting each other about Chargers. And we just enjoy and love this team all around. You know, we're doing this platform to be able to talk with you guys too, just the big community. And we're all about doing this for you guys. And we appreciate your guys' support so much, jumping on here, commenting, you know, just giving us a like, giving us a sub, and just follow us all the time. We love hearing from you guys. And this platform's all about you guys. And we really appreciate your support. So shout out to everybody that just checks in, says what up, throw in your comments and everything like that. But man, I can't wait to be able to just keep growing out this YouTube channel and also just saying what up to the fans, man. So we really appreciate all your guys' support, man, for sure. This is big.
100%. Yep. Yeah, and well said. I think that's about it. And by the way, Thule's looking amazing as well too. Kerry Valentine. He looked really good out there today. We talked about it earlier on. So you know, our time is now, folks. This is it. This is 100%. You know, and you guys are a big part of why we do this 100%. So, you know, Dotson's looking good. We could talk about this forever, folks. I know Kyle's running out of time, but look, bottom line, folks, Chargers are looking good. These guys are looking good. I'm excited to see what we can do. Sky's the limit for this team, folks. I really do believe sky's the limit. It's just a matter of us staying healthy. But the good news is, even if people go out, because we are going to have people going out, we have a lot of depth. There are people that can step up. That's an exciting feeling. I was just talking to, I think it was James, or maybe it was Kyle, maybe it was both of you guys today. Dude, everyone, we got depth. It's awesome. Yeah. So we've never had depth like this before as a Charger team. So it's exciting. It's exciting, folks. I can't wait for the season.
It's all good.
So thank you guys for everything you do with us. And guys, you know, we're here for you. So we're going to keep getting the content out there as much as possible. We're just going to rapid fire as much stuff as we can out there. Like and subscribe. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you, dudes. Bull Bros. Let's go.
Let's go.